Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? If you look at the top left hand corner of the screen, you might notice that it has been a while since the last episode. What have I been doing? That's a good question. I was AFK, Well, first off, above ground, I have changed our smokestacks with the industrial version, and I have also put some ash pits under them. They give you fly ash. I don't really know what fly ash does. Apparently, you put it inside an assembly machine, you get a dysfunctional nuclear reactor. And then you make it somehow functional? I don't know anything about this mod. I'm just learning things as we go along. Also, if I come to our solar boiler area, there are no differences here, but there are additional pylons. They do lead to a flat area that I have prepared, which we are going to work on it today. In other news, I have assembled the crucible over there and it's ready for bulk crafting. It's not the best and I'm going to change it later on, but I have also automated the blast furnaces. Automation is a loose term, you just dump in the garbage, take out the steel. But the most important thing that I have done in between the episodes is this. What is it? I was working on the basement and the roof is up to here. This part I also have to fix. So let me give you a grand tour of the basement. Well, first off, we do have an elevator. It's called the cargo elevator and well, going down it makes weird noises. Going up is very smooth, and it's also incredibly cheap. The only thing that you are going to need is hydraulic pistons, which does require engine lubricant. I have never ever made engine lubricant, but apparently it's also something easy that you can make. I just found them in different canisters, but I have been working on the basement. I think it's now clean and neat. A bit. So we have our Geiger counter, we have the contamination, we have the arc welder, we have 2 electric furnaces, 1 shredder, and yes, 1 kit assembler. Do you guys remember nuclear control with the beautiful monitors? There is a version of it which is compatible with the HBM mod called energy control. Since we don't have IC2 and we are not going to have IC2, it has its own special machine. And yeah, I do have a purple information panel. I have also transferred every single machine that we had down here, and well, not all of them. We have the soldering stations, assembling machines, chemical plant, arc furnace, as well as the press. And yes, these are fancy electric presses. Somebody mentioned that in the comment, and yeah, these guys are way better. They also did require the engine lubricant. This is why I actually started making the elevator. I was just checking the uses on the hydraulic piston and voila. Cargo elevator. Up here we have our trophies and it leads down to our basement. And I don't know what happened here. Anyways, that was the update. Also, we're out of ammo. But what is the plan for today? So when I was working on the basement, I noticed a bit of a problem. There were 2 blood moons, 2 consecutive days of raining, and we ran out of power. Completely. I was going through the comments of the previous episode and I noticed that somebody mentioned that I can use a flare stack to burn extra gases that we get from oil processing. So I put in natural gas and well, they were disappointing. They do look really cool, but disappointing with power generation. I was also opting for biofuel, but then a comment caught my attention. Hence, we have a flat area for steam in the middle of the desert. Well, corner of the desert. It had to be already semi-flat, this was the best place. It was, I think, a good idea to bring our machines inside because there is a blood moon. So in order to make more power, we're going to need more steam, therefore we're going to need way more mirrors. Oh, and by the way, there is an import bus here. It's importing the plates. And this is the aluminium that we're getting from sieving. How many stacks of mirrors can we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ish. Also, that was 600 steel ingots. This is why it was expensive. But in any case, we shall have an extra boiler. Because if I dismantle the current boiler, we're not going to have any power. And we do need to have an extra cooling tower. Why not? There you go. It's funny that that massive structure can be put inside the crate. It does seem that I have made a very small miscalculation, so let's say this is the boiler, right? Mirrors have to be at a 45-degree angle towards the boiler, and they can be up to like 25 blocks away, which is almost here, because that patch of dirt is just 20 blocks. Anyways, this place has to be widened up, and I need to go and get more sand. I know we're in a desert and we're surrounded by sand, but we don't really want to destroy everything. And we don't have sand in the system, lovely. It's okay, we always have a few stacks in our sieving area. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you all the mirrors that we have made today on the left side, and all the mirrors that we had on the right side. You know, from the old boiler area. The new mirrors that we made give us somewhere around 6,600 HE, and the old ones were 5.4, right? I'm not a mathematician, but that should be 12,000 HE, but we're getting 10. Could be because of the blocks of dirt, Could be because of the time of day. I swear when it started it was 12,000. But yeah, at this very moment we're getting 10,000 HE, which is almost double our power production, which is not that bad. However, every single mirror that we had is like 25% of the entire surface area, and we're out of aluminium. And almost steel. There was a blood moon and I had to go mining. I did manage to find a teeny tiny bit of aluminium, but it's nowhere near enough. And also processing aluminium is not the easiest thing because I have a garbage automation for it. Because whenever you are processing aluminium, you just get cryolite, you don't get the aluminium ingot. And then you have to put it inside the crucible to get molten aluminium, which is not the best because you have to cast it. So maybe I should start learning how to use the strand caster. This should be a faster method. I was also in the process of making an extra strand caster and I realized I'm out of polymer. So there you go. That should be plenty. So first let me try to explain to you the problem with the crucible. So this is the crucible, right? It's like the Tinker smeltery. When you get the molten metal, what you need to do is that you need to cast it out, right? So we have the foundry basins or casting tables or whatever, and we have to put a mold inside. Then you actually have to wait for the metal to solidify, which can take ages. By ages, I just mean that if it takes 2 seconds for an ingot to solidify, what would you do if you need 1000 ingots? Try to come up with a solution? A lot of casts, everywhere. Although it does work, it's a bit impractical. The reason that I came up with that stupid solution is that I actually was very scared to use the strand caster because I didn't know how it works. But apparently it's very easy. We have a small area for it. It's off-centered, I know. But if we have a crucible like so, we can have 2 strand casters, we will have more. And the strand casters are going to cast 9 items at the same time. That's my assumption. However, there's a catch. It does work with water and it does give you back low pressure steam. Oh, and by the way, this is a universal fluid duct, but it's in the form of a block and you can paint it, so it's kind of nice. So we can have an input for water, output for steam, low pressure steam. I don't think it gives you that much low pressure steam, so we can just have a condenser. Compressed creeper died from radiation poisoning. Where? I found the dungeon. Hope they didn't die down there. But yeah, in general, if we give it a teeny tiny bit of water, use the condenser, then it will go on a loop. And honestly speaking, it's actually not that bad. It's a big shame I never used it. Just look, it gives you 9 ingots at every given time. You can even change the mold. That is obviously very cool. Let's clear the dungeon. I brought some grenades. We're fine? They're not. We go in. And maybe torch it up? Whoa. Hi. It's a teeny tiny dungeon with a ton of spawners. But we get food, right? Yeah, we take the ones that we haven't eaten yet. Just for extra hearts, nothing special. Oh, this is a different pizza. Never knew. A name tag. Finally. They still spawn? Anywho, before we start fixing this structure, I think I have to go mining, get more resources, then we'll finish this area. And now that we have power, we can actually set up the centrifuges and finish our ore processing. My fellow Dark Ones, I'm back from mining. I just wanted to get a good variety of ores, but we're going to do a bit of ore processing. I mean, 10,000 HE per tick is not the best, but at least it can handle a few machines for ore processing. These are centrifuges, right? I think currently at our age, this is our best option. For example, if you give it an iron ore, what is going to happen is that you're going to get 3 iron powder. I thought one is going to be titanium. Anyways, if you give it copper, you get 2 copper, 1 gold. And I guess you guys already got the gist. It's basically a pulverizer with a sieving upgrade. So it gives you like 2 outputs plus a bonus. Basically, whenever we're getting an ore, sometimes it has to go inside the shredder, sometimes it has to go inside the centrifuge, and then we have to smelt them. Or sometimes we have to compact them and there's nothing to see here. But there are my ducts. Yes. I'm actually here for applied energistic stuff. I was trying to make a biodiesel. I changed my mind. So we don't have really that much space, but basically this is our ore processing building, right? We already had a centrifuge here, so maybe we can even have the other centrifuges outside? We just want them to be close, that's it. And for some reason this is an even number. It's like 10 blocks, but it's okay, we do have more centrifuges. Each reactor has 2 centrifuges, so we were good. We have 10. If we wanted, we could have also used the one inside, so 11. I think the way that we are going to make it work is that we are going to have storage buses like so on the centrifuges. In this way we can also filter the ores that has to go inside. We are also going to have a sub-network for importing them and sending them back into a furnace. That sounds about right, right? Let me do some cabling. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm done, and this took way longer than I was expecting, and it's a mess. I think probably I'm the only person who understands how it works, but basically, I do have a chest over here. I dump the garbage from my backpacks inside whenever I go mining. And yes, those are food. There is a network here hooked up to a controller because I'm using more than 8 channels, which is importing everything from that crate, and using storage buses with filters puts everything inside a centrifuge, which we can use the memory card in order to copy and paste the settings on the storage buses, because they all do the same thing. We have another controller, because that's another network more than 8 channels, and it's importing everything from the centrifuges and putting it inside that crate, this one. So everything that has to be further processed stays inside this crate. The rest of them are being imported back into our system using a storage bus with filters and an interface. And it does require one more capacity card. I was running out of filters. There is a yellow cable which takes everything that has to be smelted to the furnaces. Then there is a gray cable which takes everything back and puts it back into this crate, and then we can import it back into our system. Yeah, you see, I was running out of filters. That is asbestos. So now the crate should be empty. Lovely. So these are items that are centrifuged and then smelted, right? Then there are some items that I need them to be shredded. So they go inside the shredder. There is a light blue cable which puts everything that has to be shredded inside a steel crate. Then the yellow one sometimes takes it to the compactor, which we compact them. For example, over here I wanted niobium. We got it. And well, the problem is that I didn't have enough space for cabling. Other than that, you don't really see anything, you just see the centrifuges. I am using Applied Energistics because storage buses give you a lot of filters. Look, that's a ton. But the only thing I have to do is to figure out how to get things out of the compactor, because I also don't have that many sides left, or channels. Well, I guess if we use a cable anchor, we can just export them back into a crate, because it won't be more than 9 items, right? Yeah, that should work. So I just came mining, and look what I found. A Zamboni spawner. With food. You do always get food, which is weird. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we did all of that in order to get more aluminium and more resources in order to make more mirrors. Each aluminium is basically 1 mirror, and that's it. We have more, right? Yeah. We just need to convert them into plates. It's a long journey, we might as well do everything in one go. Well, we can't do everything in one go. It's just that I meant that we might as well try to carry as much as possible. That is 8.5 stacks of mirrors. I think this should almost double the mirrors that we have. Maybe. I just had to go back to the base one more time because I realized I have made a boo-boo. It's not 10,000 HE at all. We were running out of water, so I made large infinite water tanks. I think the normal one gives you 100 millibuckets per tick. This one gives you 500 millibuckets per tick. The thing is, over there we don't really have a cooling tower. I'm just voiding the steam. It's a good thing I checked, so if you look at the barrel, it's empty. We put U. Oh, that's enough. So it's 15,000. Okay. I think I'm done with 1/4. Or so. Yeah, I would say this corner is almost done. And we are generating 20,000 HE per tick. Look, exactly. So I can't really show it to you like this, but if you look at the map, we're doing garbage. Obviously, I'm going to need way more mirrors. We have more aluminium, it's just getting prepared. We will have more steel, it will take time. But yeah, we're progressing. Also, 20,000 HE isn't that bad. That means that we can constantly make that cheap recipe for the circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a time later, and I'm gathering some experience. Yeah, that should be more than enough. 30 levels. I have used every ounce of experience that we had, and I have enchanted a few books. I thought maybe we should get one more. Be fortune. No. Well, we have 2 efficiency 4 books. That's not bad. Which I think we can put it inside the sieve. And it works faster. Give me my book. I guess we have to blacklist it first. Yeah, it does work faster. Fortune would have been lovely. Anyways, what have I been up to? Not much. I have done some mining. I have been doing some ore processing as well as some sieving, and I have been making some aluminium plates. In order to get more mirrors, obviously. Then I got to thinking, we do have these plate stamps, right? And they do break quite often. So I was looking, and it seems that we had a blueprint which we can make plates inside an assembling machine. It's a bit slower, but nothing breaks. However, we would be able to make some unbreakable stamps, and I think the best one that we can use is going to be for circuits, right? For silicon. This one shouldn't break. It doesn't have a durability. I have also been still touching every single ore, and these are the amount of rare earth that we have. I want some niobium in order to make better capacitors. They have 10 times the capacity as the golden ones. That is 3.5 stacks. That's not bad. And I don't really know if this is a good recipe, but for the moment I don't really have a choice. We just have to wait for them to be processed. And yeah, I have been working on the upper floors, but I'm not going to continue working on it until we get a jetpack. It does require something called kerosene. Also, out of the other enchanted books, we did manage to get looting too. and health bonus. I don't think that's very important, but I saw sharpness, and the rest is garbage. Well, looting 2 is better than nothing. In other news, we have 17 stacks of mirrors, and we're out of aluminium. We only have like 2 plates. Maybe a teeny tiny bit more is being processed at this very moment, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go and assemble it. You know, it would be stupid that we make all of this and then we make a reactor and then we can power like 50 turbines. It's okay. I like the mirrors. Also, this time for sure, we're going to finish like 3/4 of it. I have just added way more mirrors and unfortunately, the power didn't move at all. It's still 20,000 HE. I think there is a bit of a problem. So we do have water, right? Maybe the boiler has a limitation. The boiler does have a limitation. Okay. Well, we do have an extra boiler there. Oh, I have to redo everything. Damn. Well, not everything. I have to readjust all the mirrors. I should have gone with biofuel. No, steam is the future. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm finally done and it seems that we have installed every single mirror that we had. Actually, we have like half a stack of it left, 29 or something. Yeah, exactly. So we have 2 boilers because the capacity of each boiler is like 20,000 HE or something. And now that we have 2, it's like 37,500. It's not the worst. I can add a bit more mirrors, but I think we're done with it. But you might notice from the map that it does have a weird shape. I don't really understand it why, but the distance on this side is not 25 blocks. You see, even the last 2 rows are not functioning. This side, which is 25 blocks, everybody's functioning. That side is actually less than 20. I don't know how the math works. It said 25 blocks radius. But as usual, we're getting steam. Steam goes into the turbine, we get low pressure steam, we're cooling it down back into water, and it goes on a loop. However, in the comment section of the same episode, somebody mentioned something. Apparently, there's also a boiler. So I was told that the quest book in this mod pack is amazing and you can get all the information that you want. This one doesn't have anything. Not even a tooltip. So I actually had to go to the wiki and yeah, this one seems to be nice. I also watched the tutorial. Unfortunately, I also forgot to chunk load our base, so I don't think we're going to have any extra steel. Let's hope we do. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. Because if you look at the recipe of this geothermal heat exchanger, it does require 8 heavy frameworks. That's 24 bolted steel plating. That's a lot of titanium, that's also a ton of steel. I'm hoping with these strand casters that we have installed, this is also going to be relatively easy. We just need to install a mold cast plate. Oh, it goes on the other side. My bad. Yeah, it gives you 3 every time. It's not the worst. Let's just try to convert as much as we can. Ore processing was a good idea. We had 1.7 thousand titanium. 4,000! Holy! I should have done that earlier. Actually, I think the most item that we will ever get is just redstone. Yeah, 14,000. We're rich. Finally. So, bolted steel plating. Make me as much as you can. And I need a hopper. You know, for all the steel bolts. It does require a lot. Cool. We're functional. It took me a while to get all the material, but I think we have everything now. So, framework. All the garbage goes in, including all the bolts. And now we also have to make something called quartz glass. This is cool. This was a super easy recipe, it's just sand and quartz. We have 16, which is perfect. Now we're just waiting for the framework. This is garbage. I only have 1 speed upgrade. I think one of these days I have to invest in more upgrades. Now that we have power. It's not a crazy amount of power, but it's something. Also, I don't really like this recipe, it's destroying my supply of high-speed steel. Oh, it's half a stack every time. Oops. Yeah, but we will have enough. Yeah, we already have 6, 7. If I do manage to get it work as intended, this is going to be amazing for our power. It's a bit difficult to set up though, that's the main problem. But there you go. That should craft it. Come on. Thank you. Actually, for me to demonstrate to you how it works, we have to be outside because I think this guy is big. It's massive. Also, this does require 1 more machine to work, and that is a heater. Yeah. Heat exchanging heater. Not expensive. And for the first time we already had everything. Interesting. Oh, it's done inside an anvil. Heat exchanging heater. So there you go. We have the one. This one is a quest, ironically. So for this heat exchanger to work, we are going to need tons of lava. And if I'm not wrong, there is a lava pool here. Yes, I can actually jump. Wow. We do need quite a bit of lava. I did check if there is a floodgate or something which can fill in an area with lava, but no, I didn't find it. So maybe I have to do this manually, I'm not exactly sure, but let me get some lava and some torches. It's in the middle of my base, I don't really want to have mobs here. That should be a few buckets. Let's go and see if we can assemble it. Oh yeah, I need a boiler. I have 2. We take the 1. I just realized I never explained what it is that we're trying to do, and maybe it's a good idea to do some experiments. So here's a normal heater, right? If you want to boil water, you put a boiler on top, and a teeny tiny bit of fuel wouldn't have been a bad idea. I have to walk back. It's okay, we don't really have to walk to the ME system. There's some fuel here. Oh my goodness, another meteor. What a jerk. Yes, so take number 2. This is a boiler, and whenever we want to heat up some water in order to get some steam, here's what's going to happen. We give it some fuel, and it is going to provide us with 1000 TU per tick. I think it's thermal units, so that's how fast we can boil water, right? And I think this is more or less the heat cap on the heating oven. This heat exchanger that we have just made is a teeny tiny bit different. It does have a heater on its own, but it doesn't have a GUI, so how does it make thermal units? A giant pool of lava. And when I'm saying giant, it has to be really giant. It's 11 by 11 by 10 deep. And each lava source block is going to give us 500 thermal units. So 2 lava source blocks is already equivalent to a heating oven. For free. Obviously, I don't really know how to make a floodgate in this mod pack and fill a huge area with fluids. So it's just an 11 by 11, but it's only 3 deep. I think this guy is meant to be used in the nether in order to generate power over there because there's huge pools of lava there, right? But since we don't really have quantum entangleporters in this mod pack, I don't really know how to transfer that power from the nether to the overworld. Hence, it's going to be done manually by yours truly. And this is why we needed tons of buckets of lava, obviously. That's already like 300 buckets. Another question that I have is that, do you already work? Because technically speaking, that's a lava source block in your detection radius. Oh, that looks cool. Also, the number doesn't really match up with the number I read. It's 190. With 8 source blocks. Maybe flowing lava also counts. Yeah, this part is going to be fun. So 250, not the best. Oh dude, stop. Thank you. Anyways, you guys get the gist. Let me try to fill in 1 layer. And I have to find lava. 1 pool there, 1 pool there, another one there. Fine. Okay, I had to remove the lava because I think I found something. So, thermal units 0, right? Here is 1 source of lava. That's 5. Here is 1 source of lava flowing. That's 15, 25. 35. Oh, it's because it's spreading. Then we don't need 11,000 buckets, we can just dig down 10 blocks. And we just need 1 layer of lava, 100 buckets or something. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I died. Ironically, not to lava, I actually starved to death. But we are up to almost the final 2 rows. It's very difficult to place it. I have to place down sandstone, place down the lava, remove the sandstone, make another row. But so far so good. We are already at 5,500. So this last row is kind of redundant, because we will get flowing lava anyways. But I'm just gonna fill it in. And of course we're out of lava. Okay, I need like 7 or 8 buckets. I got it from the one next to the pyramid. It's a massive lake. Obviously we do have ex nihilo, so we can make lava inside the crucible, and I have already made lava inside the crucible, but that takes ages. Unless you spam a lot of crucibles. That should be enough. Another thing is that I don't know why you burned for so long. That is, I think, the last bucket. Nope, there's 1 more. Here? Yes! We're at 6,050. Maybe if it's all source blocks, it's going to be more. I'm not exactly sure. As I have mentioned, documentation on this thing is a bit garbage. Also, for some reason, we're out of ducts, but let's give this guy a test. So in the video that I watched in the tutorial, they used blood. So you put in blood, you get hot blood. Oh, it's the heat. Yeah, they pumped in blood, they pulled out hot blood, and then they put it inside the heater. You know, this heat exchanger. But I just realized this guy also works with water. You give it water, it gives you steam. I guess first let's check it with steam. If not, I'll try to get more blood. I need more ducts. I tried it with water. I thought it's going to make a huge effect, but no, it was only 6,000 more HE per tick. It's not bad, it's free. It's certainly more resource and lag friendly than this. So you guys have been telling me that I can make some IV bags and donate blood. And that's what I have been doing. I have done this 107 times. Cause every time it just gives you 100 millibuckets, that's it. But let's put the blood into the tank and let's try this one more time. We should have hot blood. We are going to pump it into the heat exchanging heater, like so. And we need to set a filter for it. Something happened. Oh, this is hot. I guess let's pump in the water. Steam is full. Okay. We know what to do. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're pumping my blood into the heat exchanger. We're getting hot blood. In the other pipe, that goes inside another heat exchanger, which cools down the blood and in return powers the boiler. I thought because of the properties of blood, actually, let me show you. So, thermal capacity for blood is 500 TU per 1 millibucket, and it's actually a very good coolant. I thought by using blood like that, based on the tutorial that I watched, this guy is going to go crazy, but it's not. It's more or less the same as pumping in water into the heat exchanger and getting steam. Maybe a teeny tiny bit of difference, but I'm not even sure about that. I guess the good thing about heat exchangers is that you can extend the pool and have like 5 or 6 of them. They should be able to share the lava sources, but for the moment this is fine. Almost 44,000 HE per tick. I'm happy with that. Also, in the comment section of a previous video, some of you guys were complaining that why are we using steam? We should use nuclear power. It might come as a shock to some of you guys, but even if we make a reactor, we still are going to use steam. That's the whole point of having a reactor. Also, this is asphalt. It's a bit disorienting. Maybe not. I haven't made it, we stole it from the silo. Anyways, even though we can make a nuclear reactor next episode, I don't think we are going to do that. This is a brand new mod for me and I just want to play around. We don't want to be hyper efficient. We can't be hyper efficient anyways, because first off, I'm not an efficient person. Secondly, since I don't know anything about this mod, even if I wanted to be efficient, I couldn't. So basically this episode we did manage to max out our solar boilers and I just realized it's not symmetrical. And next episode obviously we're just going to try something else for fun. Another thing is that I'm very sorry for the quality of today's episode. It's not my fault, it's very laggy here. I guess I bring you back whenever we're done. And I think for the moment, we're done. I also paid credit to Nemo. It's called Point Nemo and it's not totally pointless. Because I made this place relatively far away from our base. And I'm not going to make anything within its render distance because this place is just terrifying. Oh, and yeah, for those things I actually made concrete powder, then I used a water bucket. We don't have something like a fluid encapsulator from thermal expansion. It's very hard to make actual concrete. Anyways, I did spend a ton of time on today's episode and I think we should start wrapping it up. But before doing that, there is one more thing. A teeny tiny thing. Now that we have better power, I thought maybe we should make better capacitors. But that's it, nothing else. I promise. So there is a higher tier of capacitors made with niobium. Where is it? It's that one. You need 24 dense niobium wires. So 24 ingots gives us the one. Or that recipe. We don't actually have a crazy number of niobium. That's actually, let me count. Yeah, we can have 4 of them. That's fine. Their capacity is 10 times more than the gold ones that we have. We just switch the mold and smelt them. The Strand caster is amazing. Somebody suggested in the comments that I should use it. I'm actually very happy. Thank you, wise person. We also need 48 rubber. We don't really have a lot of rubber. One more. I do have to fix oil next episode. This is not really working out. So is that it? That doesn't sound right. Oh, I have 1 ingot on me. Why? I think this is done inside an assembling machine. Capacitor, niobium. So there you go. It's not rubber? Oh, it's polymer. They do have like 40 different types of plastic here. There you go. So a gold capacitor is 6 million HE. This guy is 60 million. You know, even if we would have upgraded one of them, it would have been like more than all the capacitors that we had. We are going to make more, don't you worry. But these are good. Anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.